Welcome back to Small Caps. My name's Kerry Stevenson, and today I'm bringing you something all about ESG. It's on everybody's lips. That's environmental, social, and governance. And we're going to talk to the CEO of Envirosuite. His name is Jason Cooper. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, the ASX code for this one is EVS. EVS is the ASX code. Write that one down. Jason, great to see you. I'm excited to learn about Envirosuite. But before we get into the nuts and bolts, tell our listeners who are Envirosuite. Who are you and what are you doing?
Well, thank you very much for having me today. So Envirosuite is Australia's technology secret. We have an environmental intelligence story that we want to be able to tell the world. So what is environmental intelligence? It's actually taking environmental parameters like noise, water, quality, vibration, odour, air quality, dust, into a platform and being able to turn that into insights so business can actually use that to their advantage to improve their operating model, to make better revenue because they have an increased time to use it, as well as a social license to operate. We're spread globally around the world in 3 main regions, EMEA, APAC, and the Americas. And we have got 3 great product suites that we support. Number 1, we are number 1 globally within aviation of noise detection. And so we have customers such as the Australian portfolio, Heathrow, Los Angeles, and New York. Most airports you've probably gone to are using our technology to monitor planes coming down. We have the broadest environmental intelligence platform with customers such as BHP, Fortescue, Vale, Suez, Veolia. So incredibly amazing customers that have been using our technology for many, many years. And we've actually just launched a new product called EVS Water. So this is very early stage, but a really exciting chapter that we're going on. So we're a technology company and we have got really good, strong growth credentials. Last quarter, we actually had our strongest quarter ever of a 2.1 million new ARR.
Right. Okay. Well, I love what you just said at the start there. You're Australia's best kept secret, technology secret. So let's unravel the secrets. First up, though, you were the COO, but you've become CEO since March. What attracted you to that role, and what do you see as the growth opportunities? Because, you know, I hadn't heard of Envirosuite before I started looking into what you were doing, and it seems to me that you might be significantly undervalued. You've been kind of flying under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, look, it's an exciting company. It's one of the ones that it probably hasn't used its position effectively to do external marketing. And so we call it sizzle, right? We've lacked sizzle. We have a compelling story to tell, and we've had some really good, strong customers, as I just said. But what attracted me to this is probably threefold. Number 1 is the problem statement today is incredibly important. All of our customers actually have a need to engage with the community they serve. And they need to actually be aware of their ESG impact and have proactive strategies in place to deal with it. So the problem statement that we serve today is incredibly important. If you go back multiple years, maybe it wasn't as important, but now it really is front and center. The second thing that attracted me to it is this is Australian technology, deeply based on science, and we've been able to go out and prove number 1 market share globally, as an example, within that commercial aviation sector, to have the broadest environmental intelligence platform. So we should be proud of this. What I felt, though, is that the company didn't actually execute properly on its sales and marketing strategy and its right scaling opportunities in the countries. So I felt that with my expertise of working and living in Silicon Valley for the last 3 years, understanding how big global companies can scale, applying that to this technology. The third thing I think that really attracted me was actually product market fit. In a technology company, the thing that you're constantly looking for is product market fit. This company has got product market fit today. And
Jason, what do you mean by product market fit? Sorry, just explain that a little bit for me.
Yeah, no, good question. Sometimes I get caught up in my own language. So the product market fit means we have a product today that customers see value in and can use to get insights. When you start out with a technology base, sometimes you're searching for that ideal customer. We've got the ideal customer. We know who the buyer is, we know who the user is, and we know how to create value. We've got 350 customers globally. So that is an amazing story to have. We're not looking for a product market fit where the product and the market say, yes, there's value. We've proven that. So it's actually just a demonstration of value into that customer and making that repeatable.
Jason, how long has Envirosuite been around for?
Look, Envirosuite started out life as Pacific Environment. It was a consulting company deeply based on science. But a few years ago, it actually sold off the consulting business and really focused on being Envirosuite. So Envirosuite really has been around for the last 3 or 4 years. It's a relatively short story in that journey, but it is deeply based on that scientific consulting base, which is a huge differentiator. I'm sure you've seen this in your coverage. Some companies will have a fantastic dashboard or a fantastic user interface. We actually have both. We have the user interface and the science to support it. And that's something that we want to continue to differentiate on.
Jason, why do you think, because look, I've had a look at, you've done a recent capital, you're well-funded, you've got good products, you've got very sticky customers, because I understand your churn rates are very low, like 1 or 2%. So your customers like you. You've got annual recurring revenue over 40 million. That's a good, strong base to have. Do you think that people don't fully understand how much growth there is to come? Because I understand you've got a team in the US. We've got Joe Biden as the president, who's about to spend trillions of dollars on that sort of ESG and infrastructure and the green environment, which sounds to me like Envirosuite is perfectly situated to make the most of that. How big are you in the US, and how big a market is that where you see growth, the main growth for Envirosuite going forward?
Yeah, look, absolutely. You've picked it up really well. So what we've seen in the recent 6 months is a huge uptick in the interest level. So the demand that we're seeing on the back of the Biden administration coming in. So to come back to answer a couple of questions in that, the Americas makes up about 1/3 of our total revenue, but I would suggest that will be by the significant amount our growth area. We've got a really good, strong team in the Americas, which we're fortunate with. Good, strong presence. Our key office is there in California, and we've been able to attract some of the brightest minds in this space. So a good, solid team, proven results, and we know that we can continue to invest into them. The size of the market, with most things in North America, is considerable. And so what we've been able to do is really leverage off the branding and the positioning on that to attack that market. A recent, some areas that we see growth in is in mining. Now, mining is in Canada, and it is obviously down into South America, but our North American team has really been able to focus and build that out. And give you the why mining is important to us. Mining is an essential part of our industry, obviously, but generally speaking is connected to a community. And what we do is we're actually able to help those mining customers live with a community. So we minimize where that dust is going into, or noise and vibration, when they're doing blasting. So how do you
do that? How does Envirosuite do that?
Yeah, I think this is part of the sizzle that's missing. People don't understand how we do this. So if you I'll give you a couple of examples actually, which would be useful. So if you look at mining, I'll bring it back to Australia, but we look after Port Hedland. And so where ships are coming in to load, there's a part there where the ore has to come onto the ship. But Could you imagine if it's really windy, that iron ore would then go into Port Hedland. So what our technology is able to do is, with a really high degree of accuracy, understand where that ship is in relation to the city, the Port Hedland, and predict with high degree of accuracy what the weather impact will be to that ship loading tomorrow, and come up with predictive modelling so that they know the optimal time to load that ship while minimising the disruption to the community. And that is really significant.
Wow, okay.
In mining, The number one issue for mining, EY released this report this year, is that social license to operate.
Yeah.
If mining companies don't understand the impact to communities, then they can be shut down, or that will limit their expansion capabilities. And if you look at another area that we've seen some really strong growth in North America, we actually recently were awarded as part of a consortium with NASA to look at the new supersonic flights. So this is a new way of flying. So you can fly from New York to say San Francisco in a couple of hours rather than, yeah. So this is the new emerging technology. So NASA is leading the research. They selected us based on our software's capabilities to understand what is the noise impact of that supersonic flight on communities it's flying over, as well as when it lands and takes off from those existing airports. And so to be selected in that space, it highlights not only where we are today with our technology, but also where we're going to be leading to in the future.
Well, I love the story about, because of course everyone knows from that listens to me, I love my mining and I'm a gold nerd. So to hear that some of what you have enables our mining industries to be, as you say, more socially responsible and to optimize when they load or unload is fantastic. Is mining a key part, and are you in Canada or just Australia? Where are your customers at the moment in the mining sector?
Yeah, mining customers from the top of Canada down to all through South America. So yeah, we've got a really good, strong presence in the Americas, good, strong presence in Australia. Look, mining is a key focus for us. There's no doubt about it. Recently, we brought on Alberto Calderon, who was the CEO of Orica, and prior to that in the leadership team of BHP. And Alberto is helping us not only with our value proposition in mining, but also helping us to get exposure to that more executive level understanding. So we see mining as probably one of our strongest growth areas, building out as well, though, on a fantastic install base. As I said, we have got the BHPs, we've got the tech resources, Vale. So we have got a good, strong presence. The other areas of growth for us that we see in that Omnis section is on wastewater, waste itself, so landfill, and then industrial applications. And so there's different use cases on that. But one of the compelling areas we also have is around odour detection. So we actually have got a world leading, and I would say somewhat totally unique, ability to sense the odour and build that into our platform to understand where the source of that odour was. So if you think of this now from a wastewater facility, or let's say a landfill, sometimes you might smell something on your nose and you'll complain about it, and you know that there's something wrong, but you don't know where it's coming from. What we're able to do is actually log that complaint, work with the community, do what we call reverse trajectory modeling to come back to find the origin of that odor, again, with a high degree of understanding. So we can actually say it was this particular facility that emitted it. Now, our customer in that situation is generally the company who is the landfill, but they actually proactively want to understand what is their impact to their community, and they want to minimize that. Now, how we help them is we can actually reduce and tell them when they are agitating a wastewater to do that in an environment where wind is not traveling towards the community.
Right.
Or to a landfill, they actually do dosage to reduce the smell. And again, we can actually optimize to make sure it's only applied at the time where, again, the community is impacted. So we're all about how we help industries and communities coexist, because we know that we need jobs. We know that we need that aspect, and people want to live close to it. So we're a key enabler of that.
Jason, you mentioned before the US, and these markets are massive. They're in the billions of dollars. I need to ask, has COVID impacted, you've taken on the role as CEO only in March of this year.
Yep.
And obviously part of that role would be to get to understand the teams and the people that are delivering products. Has COVID impacted on that? Has it made it a little bit tougher for you, or have you got good, strong leadership around the world so that they're helping?
Yeah, so certainly it's impacted the ability to go and travel and meet people. Nothing can replace that. Let's just be honest. We've all spent an enormous amount of time behind Zoom or Teams over the last 12 months.
As we are right now.
Exactly right. But you know what? We've lived with it.
Yeah.
One of the benefits, so Envirosuite made an acquisition last year of EMS, and what that did is it gave Envirosuite a really good, strong global footprint, good office infrastructure, good systems and processes, and highly talented people within that environmental space. And so what it's enabled us to do is actually not really lose any forward momentum on that part. So from an internal perspective, I communicate weekly with the global team. So I actually do, a bit of an all hands each week. We talk about topics. I'll share what we're doing. I believe we've actually got closer because we've actually had to lean into that problem statement.
Yep.
From a market perspective, COVID clearly has impacted the airlines, and that's a big part of our business. Sorry, the airports, not the airlines, airports. But airports are our customer. That will start to increase, in the short term. We know that will start to increase, probably outside of Australia first, but we've got good, strong global presence. What it was also done is we're now more aware of the environment we live in. So if you think about it, if you were living next to an airport, you're far more aware of that plane coming into land. And so now you will actually start to have that complaint. And so airports around the world have got this problem. They're actually leaning into us in this COVID environment to say, how can you help us with this community engagement? Because we know it's going to be more of an issue moving forward. And because we're number one in that noise monitoring of planes coming into land at airports, we are actually really well engaged, and engagement's probably increased with the airports around the world. So on the back of COVID, I feel we're closer to our team, and there's a significant market opportunity on the back of it.
Okay, Jason, what I want to know is right now your share price about 10%, you did your raising at 8. Do you see it as significantly undervalued because you haven't been out there telling the market what you're doing? Because ESG is big. It sounds to me like you've got good sticky customers, big names, BHPs and the Vales of this world. What I'd like to know is, first of all, excuse me, what are you going to be doing with the money that you've recently raised? And secondly, do you agree with me? Do you think you're significantly undervalued? You probably will do. And how do you see that moving forward?
Yeah, look, the business fundamentals are really solid in this company. That's what I like. We sort of probably glossed over the size of the market you were talking about before. We have what we believe is a $4 billion service addressable market. An annual revenue today, recurring revenue of 42 million, 42 and a half. We are only scratching the surface. Right. We do not have a single competitor in that environmental intelligence platform that can come close to what is our capability. So for me, my role is now about execution. So yes, I think the market has been harsh on us, but I can see such a considerable upside on this company. And so if we now focus on that execution, bringing that story to market, using that experience that I had living and operating in Silicon Valley to really drive a technology company forward, I believe there's considerable upside to this company. I came on believing in the mission statement, believing in the problem statement, and there has never been a more important time for a company like ours to be out in the marketplace.
Go ahead.
Yeah, proud that I've joined an Australian technology company, and I feel it's my obligation, my duty, and my opportunity, right, to actually take this out and to accelerate that. So yeah, I see significant market opportunity in the coming years.
All right, we've got to finish it up now, Jason. So I'm going to leave you to let those investors that are listening out there, why now is a great time for Envirosuite. For me, I've only just started learning about what you're doing, and it sounds fascinating. It is in the ESG area, which is of great interest to so many people. So if you're into the environment, that's probably a good thing. But Jason, what are the 3 key reasons that you think is why now is a good time to invest in Envirosuite?
Number one, we've proven that we've got product market fit. So this is not a gamble. This is a known company. We have got some of the best customer names anyone could ever ask for. So number one, it's a good but solid technology. Number two, the Biden administration has accelerated the importance of what we do, both with some of the environmental justice laws that he's bringing in, as well as some of the stimulus packages he's driving into infrastructure. Number three, we've proven this out. This is now around taking this and executing on a plan. We have got the use of funds to invest into North America, to further invest into product, and to take our newest product, EVS Water, which is a small startup, but huge potential, and really accelerate that, leveraging all of the good things that we've done around the world. So look, I'm highly confident that this is going to be a company that will become part of everyday language and really tackle that ESG issue and really be part of the Australian technology community moving forward.
Well, I think it's fantastic what you're doing. I was fascinated by all the growth that you've got coming up, Jason. And as Jason said, hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's an Aussie tech. So we've got to support the Aussies, go the Aussies, and you're going global. So congratulations on all that you're doing. Where can people find out more if they would like to find out more about what you're doing?
So look, they certainly come on to our website, have a look. It's a really good, some content on there. We've also got
and that website is?
Envirosuite.com.
Just .com, not .au, just envirosuite.com.
Yep. And so come on, have a look at that, and certainly reach out to us. Follow us on LinkedIn. We are really active within social media. We're releasing a lot of really good content on there. We hold webinars to educate people through, so there's certainly content there. But yes, certainly do that. Come and talk to us, and we would gladly tell you more about what we do.
Well, lots going forward for you. I look forward to chatting to you again later in the year. Thanks for joining us on Small Caps today.
Thank you very much.